welcome to another episode of By the Railside podcast movie review. This week, what the fuck? We reviewed Mr. Nobody. And the first nobody is Jeff.
I'm nobody.
Second one, we've got Justin. Third one, we've got Jordan.
I was fingered by the Angels of Oblivion.
And last nobody is me, Zach. And
The youngest of us all.
oh my god, what happened in this movie? I don't. All right, so Mr. Nobody, Jordan, tell us what it's about.
This is the Jordan summary. This is a movie about a boy who didn't get fingered by the Angels of Oblivion, and therefore he couldn't make a choice.
All right, that actually sums it up quite well. What you guys think about it, Justin?
This movie should have been like an hour, maybe an hour and a half long, and it probably would have been okay. But I don't understand why they felt the need to like show every little detail of every Divergent timeline. Like, I stopped caring like so early on in this movie, and I was just like, please let it in. And also, I think I watched the extended cut unknowingly, so I don't know what you guys watch, but holy fuck, this movie is long and boring.
You didn't want to see him take his kids to school and kiss them goodbye, and that didn't lead to anything whatsoever.
But did it actually happen? Did he kiss those kids, or was he taking pictures of rotting fruit?
Oh,
But it doesn't matter. Like, that's the worst part.
Yeah, what
Like,
about
it's
you?
a cool concept, but like I just don't understand like why they decided to do it that way.
What about you, Jeff?
It was fucking horrendous. I legitimately looked to see how much longer there was on the movie at the 17-minute mark.
Oof.
I got to about 45 minutes before I was staring at the clock, but yeah.
Yeah, like this is a movie that's like, guys, did you know that like choices matter and like have consequences? Wow. I fucking despised it. It was so goddamn slow. The most interesting part of the movie was like the background stuff in the year 2082. Everything else was like I honestly could not care about these characters any fucking less.
Yeah, I liked the like a movie about the big crunch, like could be cool, and like since we don't really know what happens, like thinking of some weird extrapolation on that is fine. Like come up with some random thing, but like they could have glossed over all of these things and we could have gotten to the same ending. So I just don't know why they tried to make us care about like the bipolar Divergent and like all that shit. It's like why do we need to see this?
I don't know why they made a movie about the big crunch anyways, since it's like the least likely end time thing to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was a big fan of the chocolate bar. I thought it tasted pretty good. It had some yogurt.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was not the fact that it wasn't like interesting. I didn't know what was happening at all. Like even like I got half hour into it and then it bugged out and then we started watching again, and even that first half hour that I'd already watched 30 minutes ago, I was lost.
I've seen this movie this is probably my 8th time. I don't know if I'm recalling the numbers correctly, but I think I just figured it out now. This is like this rewatch of it. I just understood what the fuck happened a little bit.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I watched this movie once before when I was stoned, and I remember it being okay, but clearly I was just like lost in whatever fucking dumb shit was happening in this movie. Watching this sober is like extremely painful. And like I don't think it's that confusing really. It's just not a very well thought out story, that's all.
Yeah, like what was confusing? It was just like these are all the different things that could happen, and he was a little kid that was like going through all these different things that could happen to him, and he couldn't make a choice to go with his dad or go with his mom. So in the end, he just ran away because he didn't want to choose between any of those things that he decided was going to happen as a 9-year-old kid.
No, he didn't decide it. He knew they were going to happen.
Well, whether the angel thing was real or not is up for debate, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just because it didn't get to that part until the end of the very movie. So like 2.5 hours later. So if you're just watching it, just myself, the first time it was just all these transitions to different things happening, and there wasn't like consistency throughout. It was flip flopping all over through time. So it led to a lot of confusion on what the actual point of the story was until you got to the end where it was further explained.
Just had to survive till the big crunch, and then you're immortal forever, walking backwards.
Yeah,
Until
I
you're
mean,
born and then you die.
it seemed like my reasoning, like it seemed like he was happy at the end because he gets to relive his life with Anna, I think her name was, or whatever, at least in theory. But like, if everything's in reverse, like I don't really see. I don't know. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding like how it actually operates, but it just seems like you wouldn't actually be able to experience anything. You'd just be like on a weird reverse movie thing going on or something. I don't really know.
Yeah, and I think it was more just like the odd things that caught my eye. Like what brought me in was in the beginning where it had like the two or three different like storylines right there where he crashed into the water. And you're like, okay, well, how did he get there? And then wakes up in the bathtub and gets shot. I was like, I want to know what's going on with that. Like, how did that even occur? And then the space stuff. But I feel like even the storyline of some of those, except for like the space one, kind of went sort of in depth and explained. But the one where he got shot, he was just like, I'm just gonna pretend to be this one guy, and then he just got shot. And I was like, well, that's a shit story. Like, why is he getting shot?
I'm gonna sign over all my
Yeah.
assets to my wife, and then I'm gonna go pretend to be someone else. But that guy's a
Yeah,
bad guy.
it seemed like the two girls he ended up with that weren't Anna. One was the story of like if the girl was completely like not in love with him at all and just went along with it, like this is the torment she went through. And then when he was with the other girl, I forget her name, the yellow dress, um, it was like he was just tormented, like he was just dead inside, and that was like his side of it because like he was just never happy unless he was with Anna, regardless of the timeline. So
Yeah,
it was just, but like why they needed to show that, like I don't even know. Like that, the character with the yellow dress, like literally didn't do anything other than like say his name repeatedly. Like,
yeah, and she had like the least screen time. I think her name was Jean.
Yeah.
yeah, I
And
was like, what is this character?
that was the timeline where he was just like, "Fuck bitches, I'm gonna just get money and be rich and have a nice pool," because like that was the one leading up to that. He was like, or what was her name? The blonde crazy one.
Elise.
Elise, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, Elise, I love you, and she's like, but Rico and his leather jacket, I gotta get in that. And then she started aggressively looking at Mr. Nobody, and then making out with her the leather jacket held behind 3 grades boyfriend.
And
he's
then when
like,
she
well,
finally meets the guy, she doesn't even realize it because he's fat.
Yeah.
I think that was that. I don't know if that was real or was that Nemo writing a story. Because then it like immediately
Maybe.
went back to like him in bed.
Yeah, because it was, I don't know, our copy of the film, it was like glitching at the points.
No,
and it
that's
seemed to only go when he was typing. Yeah,
that's built into it.
yeah. Because I was just like, did my thing break?
Yeah.
Did my download break? But then I noticed like every time he started typing is when it actually continued on.
So I think that might have been just like maybe him coping with the fact that she left him because like, okay, she left me for this guy that she probably hasn't seen in like 10, 20 years. But I'm going to write a story about her where she meets him. He's totally fat and different, but she doesn't realize it. She's just obsessed with this picture of him from high school.
Not really different though. He still seemed like a douche.
Yeah, oh no, 100%, but now he's a fat douche. So it's funnier. Before it was like, man, this guy's got a motorcycle, he's got the girls, he's got chiseled abs, and now it's like, ha, chunky.
Yeah. I did enjoy like some of the transitions in between the certain ones. They did seem pretty well done in between different scenes and stuff like that. I think the one that was the most difficult, that wasn't purely done well, but it was, or not purely done well, but it did okay, was the three different weddings with the cars going by. But everywhere else, the transitions to different scenes where I thought were well done.
There was one that had me concerned. It was the one where him and Anna actually like reunite, and they're in his studio apartment, or if you want to call it the world's largest bathroom for rent.
Yeah.
But they're like fucking around in the sheets and they're like reminiscing of old times, and then it pans to adult Jared Leto and then Juno Temple, who's supposed to be playing like a 15, 16-year-old girl, and I was like, ooh, that's not good. And then it's like it pans back and she's an adult, and I was like, awesome, that's legal. And then it pans back to Jared Leto, but he's the 15-year-old now. I'm like, still not okay.
Yeah.
That's don't put that in the movie. It makes me confused.
Yeah, that whole thing with like him being with his stepsister was just like, why is this here? Like,
I'm pretty sure they were actually related too. I think she was born of like the father cheating with the mother too, but then it just didn't go into anything actually relevant to anything or interesting. So,
oh,
True. And I think there was 2 separate timelines just for them as well.
oh,
So
there was like fucking 6 different timelines just for them.
Yeah, but I think it was where their mom and the dad didn't work out, and then they got together. I think that was the final one where they were in like the studio apartment, or no, because they were talking about it as the kids when the parents actually got together.
Yeah.
Because there was one where he was like a teenage rebel in New York, and then another one where he's wearing a fucking sweater over his shoulders indoors. Why do you do that? Outside, I get maybe my shoulders are a little chilly because I'm a little British boy and I only eat baked beans for breakfast.
The final scene of those two was, as kids, anyways, was them skipping stones on the thing. So I think the actual timeline is when he didn't tell, or the timeline he wanted to go back to anyways during the crunch was him not telling his mother that, or his father, or whoever was cheating, that the other one was cheating, kind of thing. Because then when he walked up on them after they had been making out in the woods or whatever, he saw her skipping stones or whatever. She turned some. But then at the end of the movie, they were sitting beside each other. So he went back to change the past somehow in reverse.
I think, well, in my mind right now, but all right, he still caught them in the woods and then just staked out the girl for a bit until Dad left. And he's enacting his plan. That's why he went back. He's like, you want to fuck my mom? I'm gonna fuck your daughter.
Yeah. What else was there? Oh, this movie was actually like, it was pretty diverse. Hit a bunch of little things. You had the kid with Down syndrome in it. There was the gay couple in the beginning who were also interracial.
Yeah, and also talking like because that was a Nemo like interviewing to be their child pretty much. Who was getting pregnant? Because he was choosing his parents.
Yeah, I didn't understand that section at all.
Unless it's just like you're gonna be born from someone, and then these people are gonna adopt you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or
I mean,
one of those guys
like,
getting their dinkers shredded.
We won't have a kid, so I'm gonna transition.
Oh, it's just like that movie with Arnold. He just goes through your dinker. Like women complain, it's like, yeah, it's trying to shove a golf ball through a garden hose. Yeah, try and shove a football through a straw. Never coming back.
You guys all watched Suicide Squad, right?
nope.
What?
yeah, it's the exact same laugh.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I
Jared
hate
Leto, old man laugh is Joker laugh in Suicide Squad.
What movie come out first?
This one.
And they just like were like, yeah, that's okay. Just use the exact same laugh from that old man movie in our Suicide Squad.
No, he went in depth. He is a very detailed actor.
Actually,
Yeah.
speaking of details, they fucked it up. They changed the names in this movie, but they knew the timeline where he got shot in the bathtub. That was actually a year after Joker came out.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's why he got shot. And that explains
Speaking
the
of
laugh.
details, how come they didn't have? Probably just because they didn't want to do the fucking prop for the whole goddamn movie. But if that angel thing was actually real, why did they not like make it so he was missing the little lip thing the whole movie?
Yeah, I found that it seemed like at some points he was missing it, but then other
Oh.
points like it was like very clear, like it was definitely there.
Oh,
But
sorry, I just had a thought about that. What if the times where you can see that there's no more decisions to be made? Everything is set in stone. This is how the life's gonna be.
oh, maybe
Because like
I don't recall it missing ever.
like sometimes when he was a kid, it seemed pretty flat.
yeah, before I think it started swapping between the girls, it was fairly flat. Like when he was actually like still like a child. But I think after the parents' shenanigans, it sort of was just always there.
Yeah.
That's when I started noticing it more, anyways.
The only time I noticed it not being there is when they were actively talking about it.
Yeah, like when he was in angel form, whatever. That's the only time I noticed it. But maybe I just missed it. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a few times when it was like when he was a baby, it was doing it, but I don't like. It wasn't a thing I was actively looking for, so I couldn't write down everything. Maybe that's what they were going for, like hoping if it wasn't brought up in the movie, no one would look and see the little dip on his leap.
Yeah, it definitely would have been like more interesting having that like consistency. But yeah, it could have been that they just didn't have the budget for it. Let's see, what was the budget?
Pretty sure the budget on this movie was like 30 million.
47 actually. And opening weekend in the U.S., it made $1,612. Worldwide, it grossed 3.5 million.
That's a big oof. Yeah, they probably spent a lot of money on that Mars shit for like no reason.
Yeah, because that
Which
was just him. writing
wasn't even a
story.
reality, it was just a story.
Yeah, just for the fucking urn thing.
This
I was
psycho
like,
chick
what the
from
fuck?
high school wanted me to dump her ashes on Mars, so I wrote a story
Yeah.
about it. That's the best I could do, lady.
Yeah. And then the fucking cum hair.
Yeah, what's up with the fucking cum hair?
They
That
were
was
in
part of
like
the-
anabolic fluid or whatever.
Yeah, but then they kept it on because they were doing a fucking tour on Mars. Everyone's just slicked up.
I don't know, maybe you're supposed to leave it in for your hair to grow back or something.
Oh, maybe. Oh, well, I know
I
that.
think it was because they were doing return trips right away. Because at
Oh,
the end,
okay.
when everything blew up, that's when they were getting ready to go back.
Yeah, to bring the bicycles back.
Yeah, because apparently making bicycles on Mars is cheaper than getting them made in China.
Yeah.
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 it's
Also,
real
though, fucking the main future, I guess, where they just like everyone has a fucking pig that they're just hooked up to so they can live forever.
Yeah. Why pigs?
No, they're very close to humans, so I guess I understand where they were coming from with that, but that would be the type of thing if I had to guess that like once a year or whatever you got like a fucking stim packet, like you wouldn't just always be hooked up to a pig.
Just once. Here's your porker. Here.
That's your new life partner, but well, because sex is obsolete
Yeah, it's
now.
like you
Yeah.
you just need stem cells 24/7, I guess.
It's crazy that it's obsolete because they don't need to make children anymore.
Or,
Yeah, that's definitely not why people fuck. So I don't
Yeah.
know why they thought that was the reason. Like
Oh, actually,
maybe this movie was written by like a Mormon or something. He was
I
just
think
like,
this,
yep.
I think this movie was written by the retard that was in near the end, and he wanted to be in the movie, so he just put himself in it.
The Down syndrome guy.
Yeah.
he was fucking like ready to throw hands. He's like, no one hugs my mom. I'm a fucking jujitsu your ass onto the carpet.
Which, what was with that timeline? Did she actually just have some weird other son and he was a fucking mystery? Or
I think that it was just supposed to be a divergent timeline where like he had an extra chromosome.
and he met himself in his own timeline?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, he almost did that before, actually in the same timeline, because he saw himself as homeless Leto.
Yeah, and then he walked through
Oh,
the door and the
yeah.
sea was being built. So it could have been, but because of the facial features of the extra chromosome, he didn't recognize himself.
And that's why
But-
he was so angry, was because he's like, I could have been that beautiful.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make sense either, because the whole movie is supposed to be about choices making divergent timelines. What choice did he make that He fucking become a retard.
He chose
I
to have
don't-
Down syndrome.
I think that was his parents' choice. Chose Down syndrome. You know what? No, I want more chromosomes than anyone.
Yeah, it was his mother's choice to get him vaccinated.
Oh,
Also,
Yeah,
about the
but I don't understand that whole section though, because like it was like already during the crunch or something, because like people were walking backwards, like he kept having to look at everything in the mirror to read it. Like I don't even know what was going on in that whole section.
that was such a stupid part too. Like he had to physically hold it up to a fucking thing to read it. Like I could read it the moment you took it out of the cookie. What the fuck? How stupid are you?
Yeah, but he can't read that well, Jeff. Not everyone's super smart like you.
I think he still had that extra chromosome hidden somewhere.
No, I think it's because the guy who directed is from Belgium, and Belgium is
Are you
pretty
saying
close.
Belgians are retards?
No,
No.
I'm saying Belgium's pretty close to Sweden, who invented IKEA, and so that's why he woke up in a furniture store.
Because that's all that was. It was a furniture store with very aggressive people.
Yeah.
He was an
What,
employee trying to break free. So it was an IKEA owned by Apple. Because the other employees were just like, no, you don't get out. You're coming back inside, buddy.
So what does a movie directed by a Polish come up, like this movie directed by the Polish? Like he just goes into like a
Instead of water being what kills him all the time, it's just potatoes.
just he
No,
goes into
it's a
pierogi
4-hour
dimension.
movie of one guy just making a new potato field.
I gotta be honest, when you said instead of water killing him, my mind went showers and Poland, and now, whoo!
No,
Well,
no,
my-
I
mine
went with
went
potato
to-
famine.
Mine went to fucking hardstyle and it raining pierogies.
I would love that.
Yeah, that's one of the timelines. One of the timelines, he's just straight up dealing with potatoes. One, it's potato vodka. And the last timeline is potato pierogies.
And then boiled everything.
Yeah.
Boil the flavor out of everything.
Of course. Also, I have an explanation for the lack of sex in 2092.
Okay.
That was the great orgy of 2050 to 2053.
So everyone
That's-
just got their fuck out.
That's where the Mars cum hair came from.
Oh.
Yeah. And everyone just got it out, and they're like, well, there's quite literally nothing else that can be done sexually, so let's just learn how to clone each other and give each other pigs.
Did you Google that?
No, I'm completely making that
Okay.
up.
You're like looking at your phone like it's a legit theory.
No, I'm looking at factual errors. Like when Nemo drowns in his car, it would have actually been rather easy to escape.
That was the very first thing I wrote down.
Yeah.
The fucking cabin was already full of water. Just open the goddamn door.
No, you can't do that. I got to get it through the windshield. There is no
Yeah,
other
He's
possible
kicking
means of
at his
escape.
fucking windshield and shit.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Did I miss it, or what was all of the girls said at some point the sun hurts my eyes? I'm pretty sure. What was the relevance of that?
I don't know. Anna didn't say it.
Yeah, I don't recall Anna saying it.
Okay. Well, the other two said it like they were the same person or something, and I was just like, "What?
Oh, it's 'cause
Is this
they're
going to pay
British.
off, or like what is happening?" But
No, it's
just-
because they're British. So those are the two timelines where he stayed with his dad, and in Britain they almost never have sun.
Yeah.
So when it comes out, it hurts my eyes.
yes.
Also, why did the blonde girl from Britain not have an accent ever?
I don't think they
This movie
were.
was poorly made.
They weren't in Britain. They were in New York most of the time, weren't they?
No. That was
the-
Anna. That was
moved
the
to New
brunette.
York.
The blonde one was the one that was like born and raised in England, because that was part of the timeline where he stayed with his dad.
Yeah. Because that was when he was taking care of his dad, scrubbing his balls.
Well, the future is New York.
That's with Anna, not Elise. Elise was the crazy sad one.
Yeah, I know. I'm just mean like in the future he ends up in New York.
Yeah,
So,
because he
like-
ends up with Anna.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. And also, he didn't have an accent. With Anna and with the blonde one, he didn't have an accent. But with Jean, the Asian, he did.
yeah.
What the fuck? I guess
Maybe
it
that's
is
just to show his acting spectrum.
that, or he was supposed to be posh because he was
He's a
rich.
spectrum, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was although he did play a great old man. I will say that. That was except when he started walking, he was all hunched over. That one was a little weird, but Jared Leto playing an old man, that was not too bad.
I think it's his best acting role ever. Just the parts where he was an old man.
I don't know what else I've seen him in other than this.
Have you watched Dallas Buyers Club?
Nope.
Oh, that's the only thing I've seen that he was in.
Yeah, all I know is that he's the Joker and that he was cringe,
Yeah.
and that he has a cult. That's about it.
Requiem for a Dream. Fight Club. Wait,
Was he in Fight Club?
He was in Fight Club?
this has to be wrong. There's no fucking way he's in Fight Club.
Was he even alive? What?
In Lord of War, Panic Room,
1999, yeah.
American Psycho. Yeah, he was in Fight Club.
Angel Face.
I can't remember. I don't know who that
Was
character
he just like generic guy that got punched number 4 or what?
Yeah, his name was Angel.
We
Face.
don't talk about Fight Club.
He's in the new Blade Runner. Lord of War with Nicolas Cage. Apparently he was in Justice League.
Oh, he's going to be in the extended version.
Oh, okay.
In Zack Snyder's. Yeah.
The Outsider, where he goes to Japan and then he gets saved by a Yakuza and then he becomes a Yakuza.
Yeah.
You haven't seen that one?
No.
I have. It's terrible.
Nope.
The best part of the movie is when he dishonors his Yakuza boss, so the Yakuza boss like just puts down a cutting board and a knife on the table, and his buddy, like his handler, goes up and cuts off his pinky, or the tip of his pinky, and then he...
Oh wait, I might have actually seen that one.
Yeah, and then Jared Leto goes up and he cuts off his pinky, bows, takes a step back, and the Yakuza boss just stares at him. He's like, you can see in his head he's processing like, another one? What the fuck? And then he does it again.
Huh.
Jared Leto's a superstar. He can do it all. He can laugh.
I think I might stay away from Jared Leto movies.
Well, what?
Apparently he's gonna be in Tron 3.
Yeah.
Was there a Tron 2?
Yeah.
What?
Tron 2 is the
Has
one
there
with,
ever been a good Tron movie?
Yeah, the most recent one was good.
Was it? What I'm
I thought
thinking
it
of
was
is like 2000. I thought it was like early 2000s. The
Yeah.
last one I
Yeah,
saw.
2010, Tron Legacy.
No, I
Yeah.
thought they were all garbage. But I think most movies are garbage. So
I think you're garbage.
probably not wrong.
I also think that the World of Warcraft movie was a cinematic masterpiece, 100% out of 100%.
Fucking shut your dirty mouth.
100% accurate to the story.
Which
All the
story?
characters are 100% accurate. The story of the World of Warcraft.
Yeah, the whole world.
Of Warcraft.
Yeah,
Where
see,
they
the
craft
problem
war.
with that is the story's been retconned so many times. Not even the game is fucking canon anymore. So
Therefore, the
Fuck
movie is the new canon. Fuck the game. The movie is new canon.
It's fucking yeah. If you tried to make sense of the Warcraft universe now, it's just an
it's like trying to make
abomination.
sense of the League of Legends universe using the original League of Legends lore.
Yeah. When times were simple and the only interaction between characters was like Annie and Amumu are friends or something.
Hey, would you guys piss your pants to tell the future?
Yeah, because I'm not a fucking idiot like Jared Leto. I would just tell the future on the toilet.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about pissy pants.
Unless he couldn't control it.
I can control my bladder. I could control my... Actually, I couldn't control my bladder until I was like 13. Adult
Thanks for
pull-ups!
sharing.
You're welcome. I just want to be canon here, you know? Or candid.
Candid. Yeah.
Candy camera.
Tell
I
the
am
truth.
canon.
Yeah, that was he was super dehydrated too when he first pissed his pants.
Yeah, his parents are not doing their job. You gotta make sure your kid gets proper meals and proper liquid.
Dad's too busy running over babies.
No, he ran over the mom. The baby was fine. You can't kill a baby in a movie.
Just roll.
Also, how did fucking Jared Leto get into a car accident by hitting a sparrow?
right?
He's retarded.
Like just straight hits the windshield and he's just like, oh my god!
It's just people with emotions. They panic easily. Shut it all out. I got hit by a moose. What'd you do? I drove home.
I get fucking mad if I get hit by a rock. Not a moose. Rocks like what?
You're not driving home if you hit a moose.
Yeah.
You're not driving ever. You're fucking dead.
Fucking moose. I'd still probably get mad and be like, come on.
Where's
But yeah.
Bullwinkle, you cocksucker?
Well, this guy hits a bird, and I don't know, like that was a lot of blood on that windshield for hitting that bird. 'Cause normally you hit the bird. Even when you hit the bird like dead on, it gets stuck in the grill. I don't see a lot of blood.
Yeah, I
But
don't think
that
birds have that much blood in their bodies.
but yeah, that was a good chunk of blood. And then he freaked out and just all over the road and then into the lake.
Yeah, it wasn't even like he was driving like a fucking Fiat or anything. Like he was driving like a truck that probably had 4x4 and he just fucking tanked it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that. What the hell? Oh yeah, overreaction. Yeah, it was just it's just a fucking weird and I don't even understand how this movie got rated 5 out of 5 on Facebook.
Because it's fucking
'Cause it's
Facebook.
Facebook.
Why are you getting ratings off Facebook?
I'm not. It's Google. There's three options. There's IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and Facebook.
Rotten Tomatoes got a 68%.
Yeah,
That's high.
that's one off from being great.
76 from the audience score. Apparently 25,853 people.
All knew what was happening.
We're wrong.
That's just the
It's
amount
not
of people that actually
like
rated
I
it.
don't even think that that's the problem with the movie. Like I understood what was happening. I just didn't care. Like I just they failed to make any of the characters worth anything. Like they just threw them around and I was just like I don't care
And the
whether
conflict
you
had like nothing to do with the main plot whatsoever.
yeah, like I don't know, there just needed to be some kind of hook. Like he needed to get like a certain path to stop the crunch or to get with like it was just like things happened and we were just there to observe it and then we moved on to the next one and I was just like okay but like what's the point and then you're like maybe you will find out at the end but then they're just like no things just start reversing now.
I think that was the
Okay.
timeline where he actually, because like all the other ones he died early, except for the one I'm assuming, the one where he was with Anna, that he somehow caused himself. Because actually, I just read online that the one that's shown at the end of the movie, the timeline, the reason they met was because when he ran from both his parents at the end of the movie, he picked up that leaf in the forest and blew it away. That leaf went and landed on the pier, and that's why him and Anna met. Not because mom moved to Canada and he went with her, which is the only reason they would have met in the first place.
Yeah.
So he
Wait.
was the reason that he met her as homeless Leto.
How would a leaf survive 10 years without decomposing to float to a certain location?
That's the timeline. I don't understand it either. This is what the internet says.
It's the butterfly
That's the-
effect, you know?
I get what you're going for, but if that's how you decided to display the butterfly effect, then that's a
No,
yikes. And also, they were
wasn't
very
10 years. It was when they met as a kid at the end and they were skipping rocks at the lake.
okay.
Yeah, and I think that was the only timeline that he actually survived long enough, because he said in that movie thing, like, you have to survive until February 12th, 5:50 p.m., 2092, for whatever reason. I guess that was the time.
That's
where,
when the crunch started. That was
Yeah.
what that number was. But I would like he had to just so he could spend more time with her, is my understanding.
Yeah, so
Yep.
that's like the only way, because without that, I guess he would just be ultra dead.
I don't know. It's just like, but why though?
Yeah, and also in that timeline, like when he was an old man in the future, he didn't exist in that world. They had no record of him at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where the fuck was he?
He was nowhere, nobody.
But he was Mr. Nobody his whole life.
Yeah, actually, I'm reading something. It's a blunder. So it's unclear how old Nemo was when the telomerization procedure started. If it happened when he was young enough, then there should be many people. Then there should live many his contemporaries, or even people older than him, because they were telomerized, having regained their immortal youth. But in such case, Nemo's reminiscences should be of no interest to the reporter, because it would be reminiscences identical to the ones of the many living people. They need to work on writing.
Yeah.
Starting to think it's just a shit movie.
Yeah, so like, there's no one that's older than him that got telomerized? Or why can't
Well, he was the oldest living mortal, but yeah, I see what you mean by just because he's mortal doesn't mean the interviewer couldn't ask these basic questions to anyone else that had been telemerized and lived back then.
Yeah, unless there was absolutely no one that was alive before like the
Or
telemerization.
maybe when you telemerize, like you're at that point in your life, like only up till then.
What do you mean?
But but like as soon as you talk to this guy and he's like, "Yeah, I lived multiple dimensions," you'd be like, "Okay, he clearly went crazy a long time ago because he's 100 bajillion years old," and leave him in his closet until he dies. I, I
Well,
didn't
no, they
like.
were still
I
waiting for the
understood it
vote.
being televised that he was the last mortal because he'd be like, "Whatever." There's probably fuck all in news when everyone lives forever, but like. I didn't understand the like why we give a shit what he say. Like
Is that even a real process?
Telemerization, I don't know. But it was also they were voting on whether to keep him alive as he was forever or to let him die.
but that was just like game show shit, right? Like just for the fuck of it.
No, I think it was actually like a thing because it ended up voting. It was like 50.9% to die, and near the end of the movie, before the world started to disappear in front of him and the reporter actually apologized. He's like, the results from the vote came in. I'm sorry. And then Jared Leto was like, I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, I didn't again, but like my question is, why did the reporter care what his opinion was?
Well, because I don't think it was his opinion. He just wanted his life story. Like, what is it like to die? Because no one is gonna know what it's like to naturally die on that planet anymore. Because
Or
it seems.
yeah,
Okay, but like also, why did he go to the museum to get the old tape just to try to make him feel better or something?
Maybe it would like bring a sense of nostalgia, or because I mean it sounded like he was either refusing or the hospital was refusing interviews. So maybe the people were like, okay, I know if you're carrying in 6 of those fucking camera drones things, you're coming in for an interview. But this guy over here carrying the giant metal spinning thing, I don't know what that is. That's witch technology.
He
Therefore, I
thought
don't care.
so. He thought he was 15 in 2009. I had a fucking MP3 player at that time. I like what?
all right, rich
No,
kid.
no, he was
I had a Zune, you
15
bastard.
and he was 15 in 1990, right? Because he was born in 75.
Yes. Yeah. So it was in the 90s.
I thought it was 2009 though, right?
So that's not when the he was 15.
Well, I thought he said it. It's 2009 and I'm 15. I thought he said that. But...
No, he said it's 2009 and I'm 34. He was
Oh,
born in like 1970.
yeah. So like, what?
He was
Maybe
born in
that was,
1975.
they were just like, how do we represent old? And like they just came up with film.
Yeah,
Because if
probably.
someone approached me with that, I'd be like, I don't know how to fucking operate this.
What is this? What is this demon technology you bring me? No, it was yeah. What else was
So-
there?
Jordan, you said you've watched this movie like 8 times.
Yes, and I believe I said last time, but I just want to reiterate. I have seen the movie sober once.
Was this the first sober one?
No, this is like the second, well, it's sober-ish one.
Because yeah, I like it was a while ago, but I remember watching this movie Stoned, and I was like, all right, like I didn't have any like negative feelings towards it. I was just like, sure, I burned 2 hours, but like you watch it that many times, there must be something that you like really like about it. But
I was just trying to understand it, to be honest, because like just through a combination of drugs and not really paying attention or like hyper focusing on certain things each time I watched it, I never could like sit back and watch the entirety of the movie. It was always I was hyper focused on, oh, did I miss something in this timeline, or like why is this timeline this timeline? So I never actually just watched the movie. I was always like way too focused on certain aspects of it, trying to catch
you're,
something
like,
that I missed.
you're like trying to extrapolate like on the individual timelines rather than the big picture.
Yeah, like I think at one point I wanted to find out how many different timelines there were, and then I fucking almost had a breakdown because what the fuck? Like they'll go from one where he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm a happy guy with my depressed wife," and then I'm having a conversation that, yeah, there's something wrong with the car, and the wife's like, "What's wrong with the car?" And then he just lights it on fire. Nothing. It's fine now. And then like 10 minutes later, they're back in the fucking depressed person's house, and his car was fine.
Yeah.
Was that separate timelines? What's going on here?
She actually had quite a number of different timeline sections just dedicated for her.
I mean,
'Cause
with her
there's-
bipolar, she was all over the place.
Yeah, yeah, because there's a super sad one, and then where he was just like does scary shit, and then she gets back, and then when he sets the car on fire, and then there's the one where they actually blow up, and she just dies, and he sets her wedding dress on fire on the bridge,
Yeah, 100% that happened.
and then he starts fucking
Taking
taking
pictures of rotting fruit and
things
stuff
dying with his melt face.
on his science show. And he wasn't the guy on the science show in the other timeline. I was trying to figure out who the fuck he was in that one. Because when he was without the turtleneck and the scar before that, what timeline was that? Because it wasn't when he was with the depressed lady, because he said he was working at a firm or something, and he had just quit his job before or just after he lit the
Yeah,
car on fire.
making copy machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he also had that weird thing where like his boss swapped places with him and died in the car to the Sparrow. And I was like, what?
That was the one. That was the
Melt
timeline
face.
where he got fucking melted.
Yeah, but like, why did someone else just like take his part? Like, they were just like, this has to happen regardless of who. Or,
Yeah,
like,
I guess it's just a fixed point in the timeline.
Yeah. So tragedies happen regardless. It just depends on if he's going to be the one actively in it or just a bystander, and then try and fuck a dead dude's wife.
Oh, okay. I just figured it out. The timeline where he's doing the science show without the scar, he was already married, I think, to Anna.
Okay.
Because he literally just swapped places with that
he
guy.
was, because he called her on his way, like as he was leaving the studio. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit late. I'll be on my way home, and then almost hits a biker and goes, well, that was close, and then hits a small little bird, and then was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, he freaked out more for the bird than he did for the human being on a bike. Like, what the fuck?
You think he would be more for the one on the bike and bring back that PTSD of his dad just
Not putting on the fucking handbrake. It
yeah.
was the worst day of his life. He had to watch some lady get deaded, and he had pissy shorts.
Yeah. But then that other timeline where he tells the dude that he's gonna die by a train just getting fucking mucked. And then the woman's like, yeah, you can't tell the future. He's like, I predicted Dad's accident. And she's like, for all I know, you took off the handbrake.
Yeah,
I'm
way to
like,
go.
what the fucking kid that was pissing his bed made it outside, caught the door before the dad closed it, because the dad was distracted eating his waffle cookies,
With the shells and
ripped the handbrake off, and ran a lady over.
Yeah. Also, that's a horrible fucking thing to accuse your child of.
Yeah.
You probably fucking murdered that lady.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
she's kind of a piece of shit the whole movie, though. Like, in every timeline, she was kind of a
That
piece
is
of shit.
true. I mean, it's either she's fucking someone and moving to America, or apparently Canada. According to online, it was Canada.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Or fucking sad boy Leto after he professes his love to the crazy bitch, and she's like, I'm sorry, but I love bad boy Ricky. And he's like, well, I'm just going to close my eyes on my scooter and hit a tree real fucking hard. And now I'm in a coma, but it's okay because my parents are back together. So my mom can now wash my dad's balls instead of me doing it.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm
I
in a
was
coma.
super fucking tilted when it was like the first time where he's running at the train, and I'm like, your mom, you watched her have an affair and you fucking just book it? No.
Yeah, and like, what? Okay, how old was he? 9?
Yeah.
So that would have been the 80s. And it didn't look like she had a job. Like, 'cause she was always the one like doing the housework while dad was off telling people the wrong weather.
Yeah. And then she beat her child, like spanked his ass.
Yeah, because
When
she
she-
fucking
yeah.
Pavloved him into
Yeah.
doing the clapping. Like,
Every
whenever
time you
I fall down,
bravo.
clap. So when mommy falls down, obviously clap. No, now I learn it's not funny when mommy falls. I get my ass beat.
Yeah.
I hope she never falls again.
Just fucking takes her anger out on the child.
Do you imagine that happens a lot, and then they're in public, and she falls down, and the kid just like starts crying and pulling his pants down, like, I gotta get my ass beat again. Mom fell.
Yeah, also, like, in a situation where the father like gets fucking Alzheimer's or whatever the fuck, like, wouldn't the hospital be like, we're gonna call your other guardian and be like, this one is no longer capable of taking care of you, instead of him just being like, yeah, I'm just gonna take care of my dad now, and my mom just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Probably in America, they don't care.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's like she wouldn't like even if the hospital didn't care, like wouldn't she at least get a phone call and be like, "Hey, your ex-husband has dementia. You should probably do something."
No, I don't think that's how it works.
They just did. It just happened to be on his. He only visited on his clear days. They
He's
just,
like 15, and he's just like, "Yep, now I have to wash my dad." It's like, what?
Yeah. Well, in that timeline, he hadn't seen his mom in like 9 years, right?
Yeah, I know. And it's like, all right, but it's like what happens after that? Like he's just fucked, right? Like,
Yeah. Dad would just pass away.
Excuse me, nurse. Whose room am I in? That's your son.
That's not my
Oh.
son. My son's taller.
Yeah.
Looks like him though. Fuck.
Fuck, if he had a couple inches on him, I swear to God, that was my son.
Who's this guy laying down? My son washes my balls, nurse. This man can't do that. How stinky do you think he got? Because, like, okay, even if he gets into a coma, his eye was fucked up, it had a bandage on it, right? And then when it showed mom sitting down next to dad, his eye had partially healed. So that was probably a long time. Do you think, like, the nurses were taking over dad washing? Or was he just, like, in the room stinking it up the whole time? Just like, whew, what does that smell? And then the mom walks in the room like, you got crippled, you can't wash your balls.
You got crippled.
She doesn't know. She's been away for 9 years in Canada. And then he's just like, you look like my son, but he's taller. And she's like, fuck.
I will give this movie props simply because this is the By the Railside movie review podcast, and holy fuck, there were a lot of trains and by the railside shots. But
yeah, they needed to really like they were so on the nose with some of the fucking imagery. They're like, here's some rails. Look at all these diverging paths. And they're just like, also, here's Asia, and there's a butterfly. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Every brand was named Butterfly something.
yeah,
That's how you tie it all together. It's
Also,
all
a lot of the
butterflies.
signs, like when they would show like one scene, it'd just be like "get out," and then like next time it'd go to the scene, it was like a regular sign or whatever.
Is reality even real? He was having
No.
fucking existential crises, like, straight out the womb.
yeah.
He's like, I can see mommy's eyes. I can't see my eyes. Am I real?
Yeah, he's fucking
Shut up, suck a
what's
tit.
his name? Jaden Smith or whatever the fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't realize if you use your real eyes.
Well, I don't
Tweet
even
that
want
one.
his quote. It was like, if mirrors are, I forget. What the
Yeah,
fuck
if
it is.
mirrors aren't real, how can you tell that we're real or something like that?
Oh, you know what? You got me on that one. Let's never speak again because you just mind fucked me so hard.
You're welcome. How can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real? I'm not human. I don't speak English.
Sorry?
That's a tweet from a masterclass in Jaden speak.
The biggest flex anyone will ever have is dying.
If a cupcake falls from a tree, how far away will it be from down?
Sorry?
Yes.
I read that 100% correctly.
Why are there
Mo-
cupcakes in trees?
They're
Most
not anymore.
trees are blue.
What?
The more time you spend awake, the more time you spend asleep. Think about it.
If
though.
everybody in the world dropped out of school, we would have a much more intelligent society.
I disagree.
Someone take away his fucking phone, all right?
Can't do that.
What the
Papa Will
hell?
will come at you. I'm gonna go for more of them. A lot of my tweets will come true in 2018.
Did they?
Yeah,
Where's
mirrors
the
aren't
cupcake
real.
tree?
Birds aren't real.
That's true.
All
I
the birds
thought-
died in 1986 due to Reagan killing them. Birds aren't real. The birds work for the bourgeoisie.
I saw Owen Wilson one time from a distance, and we just stared at each other. Then his car drove off.
Wow.
Como os espalos
Mm.
podem ser reas se nosos ojos now se reas. I think this is here. I'll translate it to English. I just love the fact that whenever I tweet in Portuguese, it gets so much more views than anything else.
If I had a nickel for every time I cried in the back of an Uber, I would have another pair of Yeezys.
That's
What?
a lot.
That's
A nickel?
How's a fucking 16-year-old taking that many Ubers? Fucking rich kids.
He just drives around all day, different places to cry in Ubers. Anytime he's got to cry, he calls an Uber. Hey, Dale, yeah, it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
I got my soundproof headphones on. Don't worry, Jaden.
Yeah. Little does he know, it's not to block out the crying. It's to block out that fucking nonsense he's spouting. He's going to be a cult leader for sure.
The moment that truth is organized, it becomes a lie.
What? No.
Can I really bring the essence through these singing lessons and Google Ping investments? Also, every single word in that sentence is capitalized. Every single one.
Some of those things, it's like when I talk to some of the dildo washing guys,
Yeah.
and they speak in a way that makes me question my own correct answer. Like, it makes me think, I'm just like, wait, did I say it wrong? Or am I wrong?
It's all about confidence. You can say literally anything. Like when I was telling the story about the 2050 to 2053 orgy.
Yeah.
You believed it because I said it with confidence.
You fully acted. You were looking at your phone the whole time. And I
Yeah.
was like, what the?
If newborn babies could speak, they would be the most intelligent beings on planet Earth.
I don't think so.
False. Dolphins.
Squids.
You can tell an animal is smart because it rapes things.
That's not true.
Humans rapes things. Dolphins rapes things. But probably more
What about
examples.
Seals rape penguins.
Penguins also rape anything. Penguins will fuck a dead penguin. 2 years old. Oh, it's been dead for 2 years. Let me rephrase that.
It's like, man, these penguins are rapists and pedophiles.
Yeah, actually. They'll fuck anything that moves, and sometimes if it doesn't.
That's concerning.
Opportunistic hunting, opportunistic fucking. Welcome to penguins, everyone. That's why I didn't tell them about it back in the Dark Ages.
You want a penguin?
I didn't say penguin.
Yeah.
Roll it back.
Old Benedict. All right, let's get our ratings. We need our ratings on
0.
this one. Okay, we already got a 0.
This one fucking sucked.
I don't know
would
how you
never
get
watch
0
this
when
film
it's
again.
1 out of 10.
No. I would never watch this film again.
Okay, I think a 0 should be called a train wreck.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with... I was going to give it 3 because of that's the amount of trains that I saw. Different trains, by the way. But then the tracks really confused me because there was no... It was just... They were just layering the same track over it and then pulling it off to the side. It wasn't an actual track that diverted that way, and that made me angry. So I'm going to give it a 2.
All right. Got a 2. Justin.
I'm also going to give it a 2. 1 for concept, although it was terribly executed. And
Concept wasn't even that good.
A 1. It could have been, though. If they could have approached it from an angle that it was a somewhat...
Like what would they have said? Choices matter, man.
No,
Things you do are different.
Just the crunch part.
Oh,
That's the only part.
Just the ending.
Pretty much. If like the whole movie took place in like the future zone, then it would have been okay. And then like a 1 for the acting. Even though what they were acting was stupid, most of the actors were at least believable. Like the bipolar one, you're like, she's clearly sad.
She is crying, lay in bed. Off. She is sad.
So 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
But it could easily be a 1 if the concept isn't like perfectly executed.
I think maybe if they wrote out like the fucking baby geniuses part, it'd be a little bit better.
Yeah.
Or like the fucking
being in heaven part was literally the worst part of the movie.
And the babies. What was birthing? They just like they sank in the milk and then came out.
That's more cum. This whole movie has been about cum.
Fucking first, I didn't get fingered by angels. I drowned in cum, and now I'm with my dad and my mom.
Why are they like 5 and then get birthed to 0?
Well, I mean, the body's got to compress quite a bit to shoot at the end of a dick, right?
Plus butterflies.
Yeah.
Why be like a fucking floating orb or something?
It's a chrysalis.
Yeah.
The womb is a chrysalis where you get broken down from cum and egg and make a baby.
Yeah, with butterflies. Yeah, I went with 2. Had some trains in it, which I enjoyed. Um,
Choo choo, motherfucker.
some of the it did have like some of its moments. I really enjoyed the with the guy trying to sell the shoelace, and he's like, "I'll get you a good deal on these shoelace," and then the guy broke it, and he's like, "A really good deal."
With his fucking pointless glasses.
Yeah.
The fucking size of dimes. What are you doing, buddy?
So and then the actors did pretty well. Um, yeah, that's a solid 2 for me. So we got
Good.
6 divided by 4. This thing might fucking beat. This is a 1.5. I think that might have been worse than Tigers.
It was 100% worse than Tigers. I would watch Tigers again. I would never watch this movie again.
I would watch this movie again over Tigers. Are you kidding me?
I would watch neither. They were both very shit.
I will recommend Dallas Buyers Club. That movie was actually pretty good.
I will
Jared
recommend
Leto
the
was-
World of Warcraft
That's-
movie. It's 100% accurate.
The guy with AIDS or something, right?
Yeah, it's got Matthew McConaughey in it, and
All right.
I think they actually won the Oscar on that one for makeup, and the budget for makeup for the whole movie was $200.
Fluffer.
Yeah. Wait.
Nice.
That's from porn.
All right, and the next movie we are going to watch is Tenet.
Fuck. I've heard so many bad things about this movie.
I have no idea what this is about. I've seen like some behind the. I haven't seen a trailer for it yet, but I've seen
Trailer wouldn't tell
some.
you anything.
Yeah, I know, but I've seen some behind the scenes footage, and the one guy in it had to. I don't know if he had to, but he memorized the choreography for all fights forwards and backwards, so he could perform them forwards and backwards. So I'm assuming this has something to do with time.
It's from what I've heard, it's a really incoherent time travel movie.
Great.
Is this like the 1970 one? Is that what we're watching?
No.
This is like the
Don't do it
2020.
again. Don't
yeah,
tell
this
them the
is
wrong movie.
this is Inception with like secret agents or something.
Also, here's-
I mean, Inception was secret.
Yeah,
Agent.
it's Inception to Electric Boogaloo.
oh,
Hell yeah.
here's a spoiler for Inception, people. Any scene with Michael Caine in it, that's the real
Michael
world.
Caine.
So at the end, when he like sees his kids, that's the real world. He really gets his kids. Also, his token was his wedding ring, not the fucking top. The top was his wife's. Wake up, sheeple.
Wow.
Shut up. I can't hear anything. But,
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you buy the right one, Jeff.
Yeah, I will purchase this movie.
I heard those quotations.
Is it on any streaming service?
Not for free.
Well, I mean, like no subscription based ones.
No.
Fucking what's the fucking name of this director? He's such a tool.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, he
Says that-
thinks he is like God's gift to the world, and he is just not.
But Batman.
Explosions.
No, that's Michael Bay.
I still haven't seen any of those fucking Batman movies, and honestly, I don't really intend to.
What?
I thought they were pretty well done.
Christopher Nolan trilogy was good.
$6.99 on YouTube, Google Play Movies and TV, and Amazon Prime Videos.
Oh, it's on Prime?
Yeah,
For
from
$6.99.
$6.99. From $6.99.
Oh, yeah, you can
Yeah.
rent it for
Wait.
$6.99.
What if I have a Prime Video
No,
subscription?
still have to
Then
rent
you
it.
can rent it for $6.99.
Yeah.
Come on down, get your deals.
Fuck capitalism, man.
And I think to end off the stream, we'll read one more tweet by Jaden. They distract you with us so you don't pay attention to the missing girls in Nigeria.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. Yeah, follow us on social. That thing made me forget everything. I had
The
a
moment when
whole-
you can't sleep, so you
Stop.
start doing math.
No, it's Twitter, not Facebook.
Follow Jaden Smith at Jaden.
No, don't give him any more fucking followers.
What is the definition of light?
Dark?
No, the absence of dark. Actually, darkness is just the absence of light. What is the definition of light?
Power.
Hans.
No, you can't say that. You don't. You do not want to say the word light and then immediately following that word light, power, because that could be misconstrued as something else. Just say it. Those two words together right now.
Real quick.
Chicken
Yeah.
nuggets.
Go for it.
No. No.
Does it sound familiar?
Yeah.
What? White power?
Oh!